All right, all right. Welcome to another edition of our Fireside Chats. And if you have something to say, or you want to, if you're on here live with us right here tonight, and you want to ask some questions, love to hear some questions. And I just I just got online with CJ right before we started the show, and said I'm going to ask him a couple questions so we can get to know him a little bit. But the first question I want to ask, I want him to tell a little bit about who he is, but I'm going to ask him to give us 5 possibilities of things that he's done in his life. 5 things of who we might think he is. Only one of them is going to be true. And then it may be me guessing or you guessing. If you want to jump on and let us know if you think you know what the right answers, but I think I'll do this with my guests each week. And so, CJ, go ahead and tell us first a little bit about yourself, about the 5 things that we think you might have done in your life, and then we're going to guess which one is real.
That I got a top global podcast, CJ Moneyway show. I've been in jail. I did a 5-year stint in jail. I got 15 baby mamas. I was aborted at the age of 3 and found out my real parents when I was 26. And I almost died in a car accident coming from Detroit.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know which one to pick. Oh my gosh. All right. So I know you have a show already, so that, but I don't know how global it is. Man, I don't think you've been incarcerated. Oh my gosh, this is hard. You had a car accident for Detroit, totally plausible. I don't think you have 15 baby mamas.
Close.
Oh, adopted at 3 years old. Oh my gosh. What am I going to go with? I'm going to go with the podcast. Tell me which one is the real. Who's the real CJ Money?
I gave you the answer up front. That was it.
Is it all right? Ooh, you had me worried there for a minute. Yeah. You said 15.
Man. Hey, man, possible.
I love that. I can just, and what's kind of fun about that is there's somebody out there that we could talk to who would say that, and it would be true.
Yeah, definitely. I told you it may not be 15, but it's up there.
Oh my gosh! I think we had. Let me jump this on. I think we had somebody who just jumped on with a thought process or a comment. I'm just going to put these so we show them when they show up. But oh my gosh, that was I like that. I like that. So what you've been doing the last few days on as you've been preparing your podcast, which is just amazing. Maybe let's talk about that a little bit. What does it take to create a podcast that, did you get into it just thinking it's going to blow up? Did you get into it thinking, I just want to be able to share some stuff? Talk to us about podcasting and why.
Doc, man, like just growing up, I was always in the dramatics, I come from the home of Michael Jackson, man. I'm from Gary, Indiana, so big Michael Jackson fan. When I was younger, that I was Mike, holidays, I was the performer. I was in drama coming up in junior high school. My father told me I should have went over to the school in Chicago to be an actor instead of going to college and wasting all their money. He said I could have been like Billy D or something. So, I always just a flair, you know what I'm saying? Just I always wanted to be creative, play sports, things of that nature. So, as I got older, man, it just something that resonated in me. It took me actually to move away from Gary to move to Detroit, where I really found what my calling was, or where I found what my purpose was. That's why I started writing my first book, Both Eyes Open and Both Eyes Shut. And so from that moment, from writing that book, man, it was just a spark, and I just stuck with it, man. But to to your question earlier, to be able to build a podcast from the ground up, man, brick by brick, you got to be consistent. You got to show up every day, even when, like people may not show up, and that happens. People just ghost you. And, prepared, you did everything. You got your notes together, you got your videos together and everything. They just don't show up. But you got to understand too, sometimes that you may not be able to show up. You may have to tell somebody like, look, I got emergency. I ain't gonna be able to make it this time. So it got to be an even kill. So you might get mad at somebody else for not coming, but sometimes it may be you on the other hand. So you got to think about that too, man. So you got to balance things out in that nature.
Oh, that is so true. I mean, is that consistency? In my understanding, and I brought Jason on, so you can ask some questions if you want, Jason. But the consistency of most people who started podcasts somehow think that they're going to be good at it within 10 episodes, right? They never even get to 10 episodes. And I think about, like, what have I ever done in my life only 10 times that I'm actually good at? And not even tying my shoes 10 times I was good at doing it. And somehow they think that if they don't have, a million listeners, in the first 10 episodes, that somehow they terrible at it, or that it's not for them, or they can't do it, or that thought never, ever entered my mind. I said, when I get to 1,000, I will be able to tell if I'm good at it or not. And I'm not even quite to 500 yet. So I don't even know if I'm good at it yet. I mean, what was your thought process in this?
Like you say, I just got off a podcast not too long ago, and I told him the same thing. The first thing is within yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have something within you to withstand some stuff that's gonna come. And that's just not with podcasting, that's just with life, period. So like if I can take the criticism of myself, know my failures, know my downside, know my lane, whatever. If I can be confident in myself, then when anybody else say something on the outside, I can take that. Like it was the old saying back in the day, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. And so when people talk on the outside, because I'm confident in what I'm doing, the outside noise just go away. And so you, like you said, you sit there and you start a podcast and you put that first 2 episodes out and you out there looking at the stats and you see one view or one listen and you putting stuff out there on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and ain't nobody watching it and whatever, you can get discouraged. But if you ain't built a certain way and know that this stuff gonna come, if God didn't really give you that vision, that passion to do this, for not making no money, because you ain't making no money when you first get in this game. That's just straight up. You ain't making no money. So you better do it for the passion of it. If it's something that you enjoy doing, do it. But if you halfway doing something, that's with anything. If you lukewarm doing anything, it ain't gonna work. You got to put in the time and you got to see it through. Because if you don't see it through, then of course it's gonna fail. You got to see it through, man. If this is something that you want to do, go for it.
Oh, I love that. And the fact that you just said you ain't making no money. Like I did a series where I was talking about 10 different ways that you can make money podcasting, but you ain't making money on none of them. Not one way, not 10 ways, not thinking about it. And what I loved about, like, when I had a radio show back in the early 2000s and I was producing it, it separates. Not anybody can go do a radio show and produce it, because you have to have advertisers, you have to be a salesperson, you have to be in the studio. I had to pay for I mean, it was costing money every single week to be able to do a radio show, and then not even know if one person's listening. Hope you get a caller that's calling in and talking to you and that kind of stuff.
Like, it ain't for the faint, man. It's not for the weak, but I tell you that much, man. You got to be able to withstand some stuff, and not only that, Doc, one thing about it too, when you start doing something, Doc writing books, Doc putting this platform together for, leaders, leadership. I think that's pretty cool, by the way, too, man. And things of that nature, man. You got to be able, the people that you really think that's going to support you, that you think that's going to be in the front.
Find them.
Hey, man, when you going through the valley, bro. Hey, and this is what I had to learn too, Doc. This is one thing that I had to learn. You will let people talk you out of what you doing, being insecure with yourself. You may do something and then they ain't cheering on you like, ah, man, this and that, whatever. But they wanted to see you fail in the first place. Because when I start leveling up my mind and things start going good or moving in a certain direction, guess what? They still ain't gonna support. They weren't gonna never support you anyway. So why stop your dreams on somebody worrying about what somebody else thinking about what you doing when they ain't gonna support you either way? The most thing they want to see you do is fail, and we don't know the reasons. It ain't no rhyme or reasons why people that way, but it's just that way. And people that started something, that do something, we all know that.
Oh my gosh. Well, and one of the things about the people that are part of your associations now, there is a way where they believe, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, if you move forward and you do better, then all of a sudden they have to keep up with you in order to feel good about themselves. Yeah. So of course they want you to fail because they want you to stay at that same level, which really can't be done, because you have to level up with new people, right? You have to level with new associations, people that are in your corner, that want to move forward, that want to grow. And if we stay where we're at, we don't grow, but it's comfortable. And people somehow just love comfortable.
Man, it's about an understanding of yourself too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the purpose for you doing it? See, like I go back and I say this, Doc, when I was in my hibernation stage, that's meaning put me in this word. I was reading, had to build a relationship because things in my life wasn't going right. You know what I'm saying? I tried to do things my way, but I was going to another way. And so you get into this word, and it kept me in Genesis 37:45, right? I mean, I just stayed in there. I had to ask the question, Doc, like, God, are you going to ever let me read something else besides Genesis 37:45? But every time I read it, I found something different. And this is what I'm going to say to what you was just saying right now. People think that, if you get ahead, then it's they lost. See, he had 10 brothers that was before him. They was hating on him because of his dream, but not knowing that God had already had a place for them too. Because it's the 12 tribes of Israel. It wasn't just the tribe of Joseph. It was the 12 tribes of Israel. So had they killed him, they would have killed their own futures. And that's what sometimes people don't understand about life. You hating on me, but I'm trying to build a blueprint so that we all can eat. So that we all
include them. Yeah.
But see, what it takes is, and I'm going to skip to this, Doc, what I learned, what was the most important thing of that whole story, besides him being in the dungeon, besides him being in the well, besides him being lied on in the potter's house, besides his brothers hating on him, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. It's when his brothers came and visited him, man.
Yep.
And he revealed himself to them and told them who he was. And they thought in their minds that he was going to do something to him. And he said that, I ain't gonna do nothing to you. I love you. So it's the point that whenever people do something to you, they hating on you, you feel like people have done you wrong, and while you trying to clam or whatever, God didn't put something in you that's gonna overlook all of that. But see, sometimes we'll get to that pinnacle and we want to get revenge on those that look down on it. Like, oh no, they didn't help me on my way. But God didn't send you first to do that. He sent you first so you can bring them up. That's just one to grow on.
And then you think of the growth that we have to have when you listen to that story. I always put myself in Joseph's position. Them jokers put me in a pit and had me sold into slavery. At least they didn't kill me, right? But then he ends up at Potiphar's house. He ends up going to jail again. How are you not bitter? But if you can look at God's big picture in that whole thing and go, wait a minute. Yeah. God has another plan, and it probably doesn't deal and combine for me to get to where I'm going. I can't be there with the people I'm currently with because there isn't enough. I don't know if it's dreams, expansions, things that I got to go through. If I'm just with that same group of people all the time and we're just doing, and I'm not saying you don't have your 5 friends and you're doing life together that you can count on, But some of these ancillary folks that we can't find, like, yeah, I want to support your business. Then you like call them up and they ghost you on your everything. You can't even find them on Facebook no more. They like defriended you just because you doing stuff. But I think that's how God does it. He wants us to have new relationships and new people to go through some of it with, right?
I mean, we had to go through some things, like you think about it. This is, that's God. He could do whatever he wanted to. He could have took Joseph from Canaan to Egypt right away if he wanted to. But no, he had to endure some things. You think about our journeys, you know what I'm saying, as men and people that go through certain things and then rise from where they was at, but you learn some lessons along the way. And one lesson from that got me was when they was in prison. And they say that the chief butler and the chief baker, they was distraught this certain morning, and he seen that they was, said that they spirit was discontented. I say, wait a minute. So you saying that in the prison that they was happy and joyful every day? Because for him to see that they didn't have joy in them that morning, that means that every other morning that they was happy, and he saw that. And so it says that he went from a dreamer. He had a dream, but he went from a dream to being in the prison to being able to interpret dreams. Now, that's a whole different level. So sometimes when you in some places that you don't want to be, because he told them that. He said, look, I don't deserve to be here and I don't want to be here. But sometimes we got to go through some places that we don't want to be because God is developing something in us in that place for the next level.
Yeah. And how, I mean, do you think, like, how is Joseph not angry with God? Because he was trying to run from Potiphar's wife, right? And Potiphar's wife Potiphar knew exactly how his wife was, knew all about it. And instead of just killing Joseph, he just, I'll go put you in jail because I got to do something. But it's like, you'd feel like the world is against you. And I think in a lot of circumstances, when you start something new, I think we believe that the whole world is against us in whatever the endeavor it is. We might have one or two people doing it, and then we start doing it and doing the thing and following what God has asked us to do, and then all these doors start opening up.
Doc, I take it like this, man. Like you was talking about Joseph. And, like I say, I was in this book for a long time because you start seeing a reflection of yourself in certain things once you start paying attention to it, start opening your eyes a little bit and paying attention to what's going on around, when you got to move from some noise, know when you got to cut off some people, know when you got to go in a different direction than some of your homies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, life changes for everybody. When you trying to elevate your mindset, you can't still, like you say, you still can't be with the same people that every time you go on the block, they talking about the same thing, doing the same thing, and you trying to move. If you want to make $1 million, but you talking about a dollar dream, why am I sitting with you?
Ooh.
I can't be sitting. I got to surround myself with people that got the same vision and the thought process that I got. Now, that don't happen all the time. It don't pan out that way. We say that, but then again, you don't need nobody else to get you to where you're going. First, you got to check yourself. Yeah, you got to get yourself in a position. And so what I say about Joseph here, we say, well, because the Bible says this, Doc, it say that God was with him in everything that he did. So when God is in you or with you, you just got an inner joy at all time where it surpasses all understanding. A peace that surpasses all understanding. And sometimes people can't understand that because they don't have that peace. Yeah. So I can't understand why he got this or why he living like this or why he's so happy when he only bringing home $80 a week. You know what I'm saying? He got a wife and kids, people out there talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't gonna never be nothing, whatever. But now he's CJ Moneyway show. Why? Because I stand 10 toes down. You got to stand on something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Cool. Jason, I see you're on. Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask us tonight so far yet?
No, I don't, man. I'm just listening. I've been listening in, man. I've got some stuff going on over here because I got a meeting coming up here shortly. But I've been listening in, and
all right,
brother, he's taking you to church right now. So I've been listening, and I kind of agree. It seems like from what I'm hearing, you guys are basically having a type of conversation that deals with leaders and followers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I totally agree with a lot of stuff that I'm hearing. I just wish there was a lot more leaders in this world, because it seems like every time you turn around, you're looking at a follower because they're looking at something for you to do. And I've always thought, the world was full of followers anyway, and I was proven right a few years back once they had that COVID vaccine shot. I told myself, I said, I'm not putting that stuff in my body because it's coming out too fast. We don't know what's in it. And my son's mom is a registered nurse, and she said that she wasn't doing it. So that was another reason why I didn't do it. But one of the reasons why I did is I said, I'm not about to follow what everybody else is doing, and I was faced at a situation to where I was, because I'm a contractor doing cabling work at times, and at that time I was rejected some jobs because I wasn't vaccinated. I didn't have the shot. So I had to go through a lot of times of dealing of, man, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing or what? But in order to be a leader, you have to stand strong in what you believe in, regardless of what you're faced with, and that's what I did. And to this day, I never had a vaccine or a COVID shot, and I'm still here. So I'm still surviving, healthy, just like everybody else who went and got the shot. But one thing I did see was a lot of people talk bad about me too when I didn't get that shot. When they was like, "Oh, you ain't getting the shot. Don't come around me. Don't do." And I said, you know what? Ain't no problem. I ain't gotta be around you. You know what I'm saying? Because in order to be a leader and and stand 10 toes down on what I believe in, I have to continue to do what I feel. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to be around me because I don't want to go get the COVID shot, then hey, it is what it is. But now, what I'm saying, people they didn't came back around. But it shows you some stuff. It shows you some stuff. And sometimes being a leader will show you who's really behind you and who's really not behind you.
I agree.
Yeah, you're right. You think of just even what say the people that you decide to go against the grain, you go your way. You lose some folks. Some folks that you thought, CJ was just saying at the beginning of the show that you're going to lose some people that are behind you, and you have to be okay with that as a leader. That everybody isn't going to love you.
Exactly.
They may come back around, but at the first, they're not going to, because they want you to fail in some respects. I don't think they wanted you to die, but at the same time, they weren't willing to take some of the same stands that you were. So, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It happens in a lot of aspects, it happens in the comedy world. I do stand-up comedy at times. And I know that if there's a room full of people, I can't make all them people laugh. But that does not gonna push me off of my routine, because some of them people like my routine. But it's just as a comic, you can't make a room full of people laugh. Some people are gonna look at your joke and they're just not gonna appreciate it, So what are you going to do? Are you going to stop doing what you're going to do to try to appreciate or to try to set them off to get them to laugh? And then now you didn't threw your whole routine off and everybody can tell you're not even comfortable now. So you have to stay on path, stay on course with what you got going and believe in what you got going in order for you to succeed. Otherwise, those people that are following you, they're going to start seeing your ways. They're going to be like, hey, man, he started off a follower, but now you're looking kind of unsure, and I don't know if I want to keep rocking with this dude, So you gotta believe or stay strong in what you believe in, man, because a lot of eyes are on you. There's a lot of people that see you that you don't see. And I get that all the time. People hit me on Facebook. I seen you at the mall the other day. I said, damn, why you ain't say nothing? I ain't see you. So a lot of people see you that you don't see you, especially when you got these kids. Like I got a son. So, a lot of kids be seeing a lot of stuff that we do, but you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? Stand strong in what you believe in and believe in something good. Don't stand strong in something bad, believe in something good, man. And hey, you don't always have to have somebody to follow you. A leader can show up at the door by itself too, So do what you got to do.
Well, and there's different types of leadership, right? There's a leadership where you're by position because somebody's made you the boss, and then there's leader by example that you were talking about. You were saying those kids, watch a lot of what you do. Them kids, if you around, they watch everything you do. I mean everything, and so. You have to be cognizant of if you're a leader that hey, I have to also be an example. I don't know about you, CJ, but, think about the example that even we're setting on doing, our podcast and stuff. You talked about that consistency. People are watching to see, they might even tune in and just scroll in and watch it for a minute. But people want to see, are you just here for the fad, or are you here for a minute?
Yeah. And two, as Jason was saying too, Doc, man, that's one thing is being a leader, or you call yourself a leader, or this and that. You can't be fickle. You can't be one way this day and then this day the next day. Who gonna follow that? You know what I'm saying? Like today, I got a good attitude, so I feel like talking to Jason. But then I come to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my emotions. I'm in my feelings, and so now I don't talk to Jason all day. But then I come back the next day and want to holler at him. Come on, man. We got to be real with ourselves, man. You can't be fickle when you trying to leave. You got to be the same way, like you were saying. You got to be the same way every day, no matter how you feel. I may have had a situation with my wife at home. Some of us say that we going to leave it at the gate when we get to work, and then we let one little situation at work that ain't had nothing to do with nothing bother us and get people fired or whatever because you brought that situation at home because you was all emotional. You know what I'm saying? And let that affect you losing your job. But if you come the same way every day, hey, man, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Good or bad, it is what it is. Keep moving. Keep moving.
I want to ask both of you this question because maybe you can give me. I asked my guest that I just talked to in my last show. But when we talk about people that come into our lives, or even some people that we seek out, maybe somebody that we can't wait to have on a podcast, or somebody we don't know about, but we've seen something that they've done. Let's say that they've, made $1 million, or they've, they're blowing up, and then you find out that they're not the person that you thought they were. How do you guys evaluate or know, like, this isn't a good person for me in my life where I'm at to be hanging out with, or to be not? I'll let you guys take that.
I mean, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me go real quick because I got 3 more minutes left. I got to get out of here. For the most part, I probably should let you go first, though, because this is kind of difficult to answer.
I mean, like for the podcast, I just say this for the podcast. For the most part, when I first started off, I would let somebody else energy dictate my energy. So if you come on here and you like, okay, man, this finna be a quick interview. I did that 12 minutes. I had one with one guy 12 minutes. He act like he ain't want to be there, and I did the same thing. Like, you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here either. But after that podcast, I say, you know what? I ain't gonna let nobody dictate how I bring my energy to my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we backstage, either we gonna get a vibe and we gonna see where we at. We gonna break some ice or whatever, talk about anything, and then get on here. But at the same time, too, then you got people that, it's cool. We went on a podcast together and we had a lot of fun and we laughed, and you emailed me later. Oh, thank you, CJ. That was cool. But then you got some that you going to connect with. Like, I did an interview with a guy from Sacramento, my boy Garrett, Man, ever since we did the interview, we on the phone every other week. Me and him closer than some of the people I grew up with. So that's just how it is. Everybody ain't going to be your friend, but you are going to. Me and Doc, we've been together ever since we interviewed each other. We've been rocking together. I mean, you just gonna meet genuine people that you want to be around, that you want to talk to, and it's gonna be something that, hey, it was cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Totally agree. Good. No, I was just gonna say I agree. You got to surround yourself around positive people. But from what I was gathering from what you was asking also is what happens when you do try to surround yourself around positive people and you come around a sour person, somebody that's negative, and what I would do, in a situation like that is, first of all, you got to know when and how to distance yourself from negativity. I think that's real key to understand, to know when to do it, because at times you could possibly be looking at something that could be negative, but it possibly could be something that's just harmful for that person, and they're not trying to be negative towards you. So, and then you want to try to be there to try to help them with that. I've had a situation to where I was hanging out with a friend, and we was talking about doing some business stuff, in the comedy world and stuff. And we, put some stuff together. But then, when it's time to go party and hang out and stuff, he's doing some of the stuff that I wouldn't, what I'm saying, want to be around. So now I have to find a way to try to kind of distance myself away from maybe him, or maybe the situation of just partying with him, because I don't know, this could be an addiction for him. It could be a problem for him. He might want to stop, but he just needs help. So it's hard for me to turn my back on him. Now, if I go to him and offer help, you know, then we're in a different ball game now, because now I'm looking at how is he going to take that. If he takes it in a positive way, then good, we good to go. If he takes it in a negative way, then now I know that I probably really need to distance myself from that person. So it's all about the situation of how you feel somebody's being negative towards you, and then knowing how to deal with it and when to deal with it. But a lot of stuff you have to kind of really diagnose, because like I said before, some people are not trying to be negative with their ways. They just might need some help, and me personally, I don't like turning my back on people that I know that I probably could have assisted with, just because they had an issue, or just because I think they had a habit, that I wasn't cool with. So
nor should you. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's a friend, like you say, I don't want to turn my back on them. We can't turn our back on people that we love, dog. When we see our brother out there and he's struggling and he hurting, it's different ways that we can, how to come to certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody not the same. Everybody ain't different. I may have to cuddle you a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I may have to, I got to dig a little deeper in the soil to get this up out of you, but I'm going to give you something, though, because I got something in me, and so I know how to transfer it to me unto you. Now, we may not see the seed grow. We don't know if we the water. We don't know if we the planter. But all we know is that we placed that for that moment, for that man or that woman to get out of that situation. And I'm going to pray with you. I'm going to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And don't get it twisted. I will tell you the truth. Like my man what's his name? The blind guy.
Ray Charles?
Ray Charles. When my man came to Ray Charles and say, "Hey man, your slip's slipping. Your slip showing."
Yeah.
He said, "But who give you music like I do?" He say, "Nobody, Ray. But it's all this other stuff that's going on that's clogging your vision, bro." And so if you that dude that's seeing it and your boy not seeing it at this time, don't mean that he not gonna see it. He just needs somebody to walk with him.
Yeah, that's why I say it's kind of hard to, decipher. But if it's really your partner, or if it's somebody that you really care about, or you see somebody like that being positive in your life, they just got to get over this hump. If you're a real person like myself, I consider myself a real dude, so I'm not just going to turn my back on you. I'm going to see if I can try to help you get over that hump. Now, we could always open the door for you, but we can't make you walk through it, But my job is to, as a friend, to at least be able to sleep good at night, is to say, hey, at least I gave that brother an opportunity to try to, go down the right path. Now, what he do on his own, what he decide, that's on him, because he's a grown ass man. But at the end of the day, I can feel good and sleep good about myself. And if I have to distance myself away from people like that, then so be it. There's tons of people in here that can get the job done. And at times, all I need is somebody just to talk to sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's going to be loyal and maybe not go out there and push all my information out there that I'm putting on them, because I needed them to be an ear for me at the time. So that's all I need sometimes. I'm at the age where I don't need nobody to go out and go hoop no more with. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little old now, so maybe I can get a fishing buddy, or maybe do some little bowling, some little small little events type like that. But, for the most part, I'm in my mid-40s. So I'm looking to build a family and settle down and do family activities, stuff like that. So if you're not rocking with a lot of stuff that I'm trying to rock with, then maybe you might not be the type of person for me to have in my life at this time. Not to say later on down the road we can't reconnect, but at this time we're on different paths. And the way my dad taught me, he said, is you don't always have to go the same way everybody else go. A leader's gonna make his own way because you're gonna go the way that what feels good to you. You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, when I was raised up, man, a lot of my friends didn't have dads, so they didn't have nobody to go home and get that whooping from. My dad, I was lucky. My dad was there. I knew if I go home and got in trouble, I knew what was coming. I knew the consequences. So I was raised a little bit more different, but I never turned my back on my partners because that's who I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if they was in gangs or whatever, you know, we played little league football together, little league sports. I'm never gonna turn my back on you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna also go down the same route as you either, though. You know, so
I ain't gonna chase you. I ain't gonna chase you down.
I ain't chasing you at all.
I ain't chasing nobody down. Either you rolling or you not. I mean, like you say, we can holler later on, but I ain't chasing nobody down.
Yeah, let me get up out of here, y'all. I got another meeting, man. But this was cool, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
Thanks for stopping by and having some questions because I think that was just good. Thank you. We'll talk with you soon. Thanks.
Let's get you on the podcast, man.
Yeah, thank you. So one of the things that he brought up that I really kind of, was kind of decided because he said it's hard to put some distance. And I think a lot of us have that issue because we do have some people that we want to generally help, but you can't help a person who don't want to be helped. You can't. And if you have to, and what I think about is values, right? If somebody doesn't have, some of the same values that I'm rocking with, and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to love my wife. If I'm going to hang out with you and you tell me we need to go down to the club or we need to go down, I have a friend who, that I love him to death, but he's talking about we need to go down to Cabo and we need to, we need to go, not take our wives. And I'm like, and do what? What is it that you thinking I'm ready to go do with you? I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time with this dude. And I'm going to have that conversation and talk about, well, what's going on at home? That because evidently you're not talking about it, that you want to go somewhere else where your wife is not at and do something with somebody who's not your wife. So what's going on in your own household that we need to shore up? That because there's something going on with the relationship with you and your wife, if you're even entertaining the thought of going down there, or if it's just values, I'm a player and I don't care, But that value system is tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just like Jason was saying, man, it's what direction you going in. I don't want to go in that direction. And for this just me. I can't speak for everybody else. Can't nobody make me do nothing I don't want to do. I mean, I'm not doing that. My wife can't make me do nothing I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. I mean, that's just with anybody. And I think a lot of times, I ain't trying to male bash or female bash or nothing, but this is what it is. A lot of times, like Jason was saying, I just need somebody to talk to. I need a man to talk to because I got some issues. You know what I'm saying? I need a listening board where I can get some of this. I can't talk to my wife about certain things. We can talk about everything, but it's just certain things that you need to have a man talk about. I need to talk to a brother. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So we can vibe. And that's the thing. I'm talking to my wife about something totally different. We ain't talking in the same vibe, but I get so used to talking to my wife that when I do come talk to a Dr. B, because of my mindset of always being around my wife and talking to her all the time, I start talking to him like that. And so when he checked me, in reality, like, hey, CJ, hey man, that ain't cool. That don't sound. Now I'm leaving him and don't want to talk to Dr. B no more because he had told me something that I don't want to hear. Now it's a house full of women on the inside. Guess where I'm going? I'm going in there and cuddle up with my old lady and sit with 5 women and just me while it's 5 men sitting outside. Come on, bro, man, we got to do better. We got to do better.
We have to do better.
Do better, man.
Yeah. Well, even the conversations, think about CJ, the conversations that the superficial ones we tend to have, right? We'll head over to the barbershop and we'll spend all day 6 hours at the barbershop talking about sports or this superficial stuff when brothers are hurting, right? They got income, money issues, they got relationship issues, they got issues of parenting. And they come in there hoping that somebody will just bring up the subject with them or sit down with them or talk to them. And they don't know how to bring it up. They don't know how to say, hey, I need some help. Right? And we got to get away from it. We got to be able to ask for help and be able to have conversations with folks because.
You know, the problem with that too, Dr. B, is this. A lot of us not, you know, we speak this real game. Oh, I'm real, I'm this and that. But the Bible says this too, man. It say, look, I can't get the planks out of my brother's eyes if I still got specks in my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? I can't see clearly. But I'm sitting out here telling this young man how he should live his life. And the same thing I'm telling him that he should be doing, I ain't got that corrected in my own life. So what kind of decisions am I giving him? Yeah. First, you got to check yourself first. You got to, it got to be a self-reflection. Now, once I start scaling some stuff off of me, now I can help somebody. Now I can talk to a young brother about this and about that. Every situation, it may look similar, but it's not the same. It can't be the same. I was listening to Oprah and Scott Galloway the other day. I'm like, I don't know. They talking about some men. They ain't talking about all men. You got some men in the you got some where you got to go to the hedges and the highways, bro. There's some of them that you got to dig out that ain't coming. They not coming. So if they ain't coming, what we got to do? We got to go to them. But we don't want to go to them that's stuck in the mud down there, but forgetting that you used to be stuck in the mud too. God would bring that reminder to you. I ain't no better than nobody else. So what, because I got a podcast, or so what, because I got Moneyway music going on or whatever. So what, that I may be elevating in the sight of God. That don't mean nothing, bro. That don't mean that I'm forgetting my brother that's in the highway. That don't mean that I'm going to stop forgetting about the people that I love, even though I don't feel like they loving me back. We built differently. We think differently. God built you differently. You thinking on a whole nother level. So you got to take the level that God is putting you on and elevate so that you can bring others up with them. And just don't say that you're going to bring other people up with you. Actually do it. That's why men don't talk to men, because we can't trust that you won't tell everybody what I just told you.
Yeah, you got to have the.
I don't want to hear Johnny telling me what I just told you in confidence. That wasn't none of Johnny's business. And so that keeps us from talking to each other mano a mano, because I can't trust everybody. So you got to be that real brother where somebody comes to, you know what? If I talk to CJ, it ain't going back nowhere. That was between me and him. He might rip me a little bit. He might talk a little stuff, because I will do that. You know what I'm saying? But he kept it 100 with me. And y'all got to start being straight up 100 and just quit saying that I'm 100. It's a difference, dog.
How do you create those relationships so that you can trust? Because it's hard. I mean, because you think about all these folks, you know, that there's some people that I know that I trust. Even some people I interview, people like you, I would have no problem calling you, talking. But we don't do it because is it that we just don't know how, or we just haven't talked to enough people?
Like me and you, we got so many lanes going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like God, he got us same path, different lanes.
Yeah.
So we got so many lanes that we ain't really got a chance to really talk. You know, we've talked over interviews and been on the you know, the Zoom call on Sundays and things of that nature. But just personally, we ain't got a chance to talk to get it. But you know, if we did, we already drawn to each other. We was drawn to each other from the first time that we met, because we thinking alike. You can tell when somebody thinking like you and when somebody not. I don't want to be around somebody that's not thinking about me. I mean, like me, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening to Eric Thomas all the time, you know, and what he said with the 20-day one challenge thing and this and that. So it's different. It's who you listening to. That was an old saying back in the day. It do matter who you listening to. It's just like the Flintstones back in the day. They had they had the devil, and then they had the angel, and the devil would always tell Fred to do this, and the angel would tell him to do that. You know what I'm saying? It do matter who you listening to. Because one friend can be telling you, like he was saying, let's go out and go, like you said, to go out and have some drinks, man, and go do this and go. No, bro, what you mean? That ain't how I'm rolling. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to be associated with that. But I go anyway because I want to be supportive of him. But knowing that, you know, say that ain't your vibe. So why would you go? Why? This is what I told a friend before. We laugh about it all the time. This is what I told him, Doc. I say, what now? Why would I put myself in that position? Why would I put myself in that position?
Yeah.
There's no need for me to put myself in the position I don't need to be in. I ain't done that too many times in my life already. Not doing.
You don't know that. I mean, you just think what you just said. Why? And especially when you know other people can be hurt by it, or other people you've been saying one thing for I don't know how long online or on the radio or just wherever you're at, and then all of a sudden that one guy leads you down that path. You now somebody else is going to walk in there that know you, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to just, and then now what they're going to say to everybody else in the streets and it's just not worth it. Why would you put yourself? That's such a great thing to say. Instead, and that's when he was talking about distancing myself. You don't distance yourself from the person and what you need to do to help them. You distance yourself from the situations that they're trying to put you in.
Yeah, the places that they're going. We can talk on the phone. Mm-hmm. We can talk on the phone. You can come over my house. We can do all that. But I'm not going there. I'm not going to the strip club. I ain't did strip club in almost 30 years. Why would I go to the strip club? I'll be married 16 years tomorrow. Strip club is way past me nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna go pay for no booty. I'm not finna do that. Why? And I ain't trying to be, I know we don't lie. When you got at home, come on now. That's just crazy. Not doing it.
It's just, yeah. I mean, and there's so many of that where those relationships, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is finding these new relationships. And one of the things that I'm trying to institute in our community is like, I want folks to do 15 to 20 minute virtual coffees, because the world is too big and we're too small to just go find people and the amount of time that we have and but if you could do one 15-minute coffee appointment with somebody you're networking with every day for 90 days, forget the weekends, 5 days a week, how much bigger would your circle be? How much more would you be able to find new people that you can rock with, new people that you can spend time with, new people that can show you things that aren't happening? Now, you have to be intentional about it. I'm not saying you have to try to find people to do coffee appointments that are at your level or above, hopefully above. I could go down to the bus station and find homeless folks to talk to for 50 minutes. They'll talk to me for 3 or 4 hours, but that's not going to move me forward. Not that that's a bad thing. If that's part of my ministry and part of what I'm doing, yeah, I'm going to go down there and spend some time. But if I'm really trying to move myself out of my situation or into a situation that I would like to be, I can't do that without cultivating new relationships. If I were to tell you, or I'm going to say a thought that I've heard several times and I want to know what your thoughts are, is my network equals my net worth. What do you think about that?
Definitely, network don't equal my net worth. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but you can correlate it with, like we said earlier, you're not gonna see stuff right away. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're not gonna see things right away. And I got another one for you, Doc. How about this one? Say if you built the blueprint, like you building something right now. I'm building something right now. The blueprint stage, you know what I'm saying, with you trying to get the network together and everything. There's still lanes and still avenues that you still working on with that. I'm working on stuff with my thing and that nature. But when you get to a certain point, say if you built the blueprint, but it wasn't meant for you to see it through. Somebody else, your son or your daughters or family members gonna be the ones that take it over. Moses led the children out of Egypt, but he didn't see the promised land.
Yeah, I was thinking about David and not being able to build a temple.
Yeah, he wanted to build a temple, but he said, "No, you got blood on your hands," and so he said, "Your son gonna build it." And so the question is, if I knew I'm building a blueprint, so if I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to see this blueprint through, do I stop or do I keep moving? See, a real leader gonna keep moving, even though Moses did what he did, and it came upon himself because he struck that rock. He still led, although God told David that he wasn't gonna build the temple. He still led. So if he say, "Well, you're not gonna see it, but your children gonna see it through," they gonna take the mantle. You got the vision. You build the blueprint. See, a lot of us gonna quit because we want the stuff ourselves. We want the abundance ourselves. So when you say that I'm doing this for generational wealth, I'm doing this for my kids, are you really?
I know, because you can't take none of it with you. I'm absolutely on the point where I'm ready to say, hey, this is what I'm building. I hope it goes way beyond me. I hope it turns into something that edifies people for generation, and generation. And I don't know how far it's going to go. I just want to make sure I'm being obedient to where God is leading me, right? And if that means that I don't get to see it, if that means I'm the John the Baptist, and I'm just preparing the way for Jesus or whoever it is to come, and they're gonna kill me for it. I mean, I hope it don't come to that where I'm gonna lose my life. But at the same time,
I would like to be like Jerry Jones, to have it and see it passed down to my kids, and be able to live with them and enjoy it with them. Everybody would love to be like Jerry Jones, but everybody ain't gonna get that. Jerry Buss, able to pass things down to his kids, was able to work with them, but everybody's not gonna be able to do that. But that don't mean that you stop building the dream. You continue building the dream. You may see it and you may enjoy it with them. But don't stop building the dream, because if you stop building the dream, you won't know either way.
How many people are in that situation, right, where they just stop and now they're miserable, and because they're always wondering, what if? I don't want to live in the world of what if. What if I tried it and don't work? Well, I tried it, don't work. I tried something else, but I don't want to. What if I would have done it and I quit? Oh my gosh,
man, Doc. This is the problem with a lot of us, and I say us because I'm not subject to I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But a lot of us complain about what we don't have. I ain't got this. I ain't got that. There was a story where it talked about God gave three young men talents, right? Mm-hmm. So the one took his talent and he multiplied his. The other one took his talent and he multiplied his. Like Shaq, I look at somebody like Shaq. Shaq started basketball. Now he flipped basketball into a whole. His portfolio is just stupid ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But it took one thing for him to get his, what he had. So they multiplied it. If you do it, God, he'll multiply you. But what he can't multiply is what you buried. And the same thing that I am buried, my gifts and talents that I am buried in the earth, is the same thing I'm complaining about that I don't have. You was a drawer. You can draw when you was 16 years old. You was fit to go to college for it or whatever. But at somewhere down the line, you got knocked off your square. That fire went out of you. But now you complain, I ain't got this, I'm working here, I'm working there. Man, go dig that talent up. Go dig that talent up. Once you dig that talent up and start moving with it, God gonna amplify. Don't give up on your dreams, man. Don't give up on your dreams, man. Keep moving. That's from CJ Moneyway today. Keep moving, man. Do not give up on your dreams, period, regardless of what anybody say.
Well, there's three voices that I think people listen to. The one voice that they listen to is their self-talk and the things that they say to themselves. And I don't know how well you can trust a lot of that, because you're the only one who knows all the mistakes you've ever made, all the things you've ever tried and didn't do, all the lies you've ever told. You know that, so you need to have somebody come around you and help you lift that up, because you will just always believe you're not enough because you're within your own thoughts. So that voice, you have to have self-talk, and that, and I think of those, where even the affirmations or that, sometimes we don't even believe some of those. Oh, I'm the greatest in the world. And you go, no, I'm not. I'm the greatest. So you have to have somebody else. The second voice I think is the most detrimental, which is from that pit of hell, which is the people that you've surrounded yourself with that are always telling you can't or you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And those are some of the voices that we listen to the most. Well, I don't like that shirt you wear. I don't like that dress you wear. I don't like those things you do. And then we take that on as if it's part of who we are, instead of just saying, get away. And then that third voice is that community of people that you find to surround yourself that will help you down that path. Honestly, with Shaq, I think of like Magic and Michael Jordan, who were the leaders that showed him what was possible. And then all of a sudden he goes, wait a minute. So Magic's got a whole shopping center and everything else, right?
Magic got it. That's another one. That's my man, Magic, needs you on your show, man. Hey, but I'm gonna add a fourth one to you. Cause I'm about men. Y'all want to listen to the Moneyway movement? That's all. It's about men that went through some stuff, myself, and things that we go through in life. Period. But I'm gonna add a fourth voice in there. I ain't gonna add the fifth one because I don't want no controversy. I don't want nobody jumping in my DMs trying to cuss me out or anything. I ain't trying to have all that. But too many men, married men at that, they listening to their mamas too much.
Woo!
Quit listening to your mama about everything, man, about your marriage. And first of all, quit telling your mama everything. And now you got marriages. How you think a marriage is going to sustain and your mama and your wife don't get along? Your mama and your wife ain't talking because you over there telling your mama everything about your wife, and now your mama don't like your wife or whatever because you always going to be her baby, but that's exactly what you are, a baby. Because you shouldn't be going back running telling your mama everything that's going on in your household. That's on you. But you want a peaceful household, though. Come on, man. In order to have a peaceful household, you first got to bring peace, bro. You can't bring chaos in a place and want peace out of it. But too many of us think like that. Quit telling your mama everything. So what y'all had a little blow up? So what you had to go sleep on the couch that night? That's between y'all, man. Next day, you know what I'm saying? We make up, you break up to make up. You know what I'm saying? You do what you do, go out, go get us some dinner and this and that, man. That's over with. But now you drug your mama into this and it ain't gonna go away. It ain't gonna go away. So I'm gonna add a fourth one now. Quit telling your mama everything.
Quit telling your mom. Well, yeah. Well, absolutely. Because and how many of our men are in that situation where mama knows everything? Oh my gosh. Well, you said you might have a fifth one because you don't want in trouble. What's the fifth one?
Quit listening to your wife about everything too. I mean, you know, hey, we love them and we know what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? We know how y'all pull things together, whatever. But I'm not listening to everything that you say. You know what I'm saying? I love you to death because like we're in the podcasting space, right? Doc, I don't know about you, but I know when I first started, it was it wasn't no pom-poms on the sideline over there. It's like, okay, just like everybody else, I'm gonna see how long you gonna do this and see how long it's gonna take you before you quit and whatever. So it ain't always, you know what I'm saying, gravy. They have they self-doubt too because you spending so much time doing this. And you know, again, when you start something from the ground up, it takes a lot of your time. And so you neglect your time with them and they don't think that it's going to work anyway or whatever. And so they can discourage you too. What did Job tell his wife? He said, you foolish woman, I'm not fit to do that. I'm not fit to curse God and die. Therefore, you cannot listen to your wife about everything, bro, because you are the head and not the tail. And so if you have a vision, you cannot let her talk you out of your vision, period.
Oh my gosh. So good. Yeah, well, and it is, and it takes you talking to several people to make decisions. I mean, I know we make our own decisions on many of things in our dreams, and we know what God's telling us to do. But yeah, I mean, there are some voices in my life that I have to say, no, wait a minute, this is my dream. I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to do what I take. You know, I'm not going to neglect you. I'm not going to, but no, this isn't, you know, and I don't need you to come here telling me, why ain't you made no money yet? How long is it going to take you?
Exactly. But I got one for him though, Doc. Here's the thing. Because I was asked that question on the podcast for say, CJ, how you balance the time between doing your podcast and doing this and then time with the family? I said I had to cut out what wasn't good for me. And so now, therefore, if I got to hang out with my homies 3-4 times a week, so that's part of my time, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I want to work on my podcast and do this. And then now I got another 15% from my wife. Guess what? I'm going to take that 50% of the pie and I'm going to flip it over here. I'm going to take the other percent of the pie, do what I got to do. And so now I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm keeping the house happy. And I ain't worrying about people that ain't going to be happy for me anyway. Cut them out. Do you first. Do you build your blueprint. And then you go back and get them if they ready to come. If they not, train moving. Choo-choo. I'm out of here.
Well, and you think about it, you and me both have the same 1,400 minutes a day. It's not like you say, oh, I had a long day. Well, was it longer than mine? No, it's the exact same minutes. It's what we decide to do at that time that we have that's going to make the difference. And so if my wife is super important, and so is my podcast, and so is wherever I'm working at, then what am I taking out? Oh, maybe it's that basketball. And I'm not saying entertainment is bad, and I'm not saying you shouldn't watch a basketball game, but I don't need to watch every, that NFL ticket. I think about it, and a lot of people have it, but I can't watch, 14 or how was it, 14 games a week on 16 games a week on television and still get everything done. Not where I'm at right now. I mean, maybe there might be a time, but those are other people playing out their dreams. Especially if I'm broke, right? If I'm broke and I got a dream and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to spend, I don't know how much it even costs, but I'm going to watch my time all day long for 2 days, watching college football on Saturday and regular football on Sunday, and I'm not living, and I'm miserable.
Yeah. I get it, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to make the time for what you do, man. You know what I'm saying? And the time, and this is the time. This is what time is. Spend time with those you love the most.
Amen.
Spend time with those you love the most, man.
Absolutely.
I love
100%.
my cousins. I love my friends. I love all of them. But I ain't gotta hang out with y'all all the time, man. Not when I'm trying to do something. I don't, I ain't finna go down here, there. I'm 52 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm relaxed right now. I'm happy. I got a peaceful house. I don't know about the next man's house. My house peaceful. And guess what? I want to keep it that way.
Well, cool. This has been a fun talk. We're gonna do it again. And again, I love it just to be able to have the time. We done talked an hour. Feel like we just talked about 10 minutes. I want to congratulate you.
Hour, but it was a good hour, though, Doc.
It was a good hour. All right. It didn't feel like quite an hour to me, but it's later for you than it is for me. It's only, 5 o'clock in the afternoon for me.
Oh, man. It's 8 o'clock
but
for
I
me.
want to congratulate you on your marriage and 16 years and having a new anniversary. And I just wish you so many more, because I know you're spending the right time in the right places. And so it's just God's going to bless that, and it's going to be phenomenal. And just keep it up. And so I thank you again for your time. This is another Fireside Chat. God loves you if you allow him to. We can't wait to spend time with you on the next one. Whatever I can do to help you move forward, CJ, I just want to do that. So just let me know. And for the rest of you, go ahead and subscribe or do whatever you got to do. Get into the community. So find out what CJ is doing as well. Make sure you get part of it. So thank you again.
Peace.